Good morning. Welcome, Unity Bay Area, Houston. Welcome to March. Here we are, March 6th. Hard to believe already, isn't it? Yeah, and lovely. Spring weather is happening here in our area as well. So grateful for that. And want to just say we are grateful for each of you here with us today and those of us joining online in all the different ways that you participate, whether it's right now, whether it's at a later moment. We know you are part of this field of energy that we create together, and we are certainly blessed by you. And today our affirmation is, my life celebrates the glory of God. Would you affirm that with me? My life celebrates the glory of God. Yes, it does. And we are grateful for that. And Patty is leading us today. We're going to send some extra healing energy. Today our topic is unity, healing, and wholeness, which is perfect to send some energy to Ellen, who broke a bone in her ankle. So, but we're grateful that Patty stepped up, and we know she's always awesome anyway. So let's stand and join together. Thank you, Patty. And we thank you, those of you that are honoring, and we invite a fragrance-free Sundays for those that are sensitive, and thank you for that. And so we're going to do our new March songs. So we're going to start with our congregational, How Can I Serve Today, Sweet Spirit?
How can I serve today, sweet Spirit? How can I serve today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. How can I share today, sweet Spirit? How can I share today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go. Who needs my love today, sweet Spirit? Who needs my love today, oh Lord? Speak in ways that I will understand. Where you lead me, I will follow. Where you lead me, I will go.
Good morning, Unity Bay Area, Houston. I love our March opening song. I'm Dawn Pence. I'm so glad to be here with you today. Let us begin our service together as we affirm our statement of truth. There is one presence and one power in the universe and in me, God the good omnipotence. Prayer is the basis for which Unity was founded. Our prayer chaplains pray for your requests for 30 days. Your prayers are also sent to Silent Unity to be prayed for at the same time. So that's double prayer power, guys. Yeah, we have prayer request forms in the back on the table. And Roger and Eugenia Moorfield are our prayer chaplains today. We have the Moorfield team. Pretty excited about that. So if you'd like prayer in person. For our digital viewers, if you have a prayer request, please click the button, Request Prayer, in your bulletin. Roger's going to lead a prayer circle in the front following today's service, and Eugenia will be offering one-on-one prayer in our prayer room in the back. So please join us as you're called. Now, please join the lovely Reverend Kyra in prayer.
Thank you, Dawn. And we did vote in Dawn Pence and Katie Ralston both as our new board members as of last week. So welcome to our Board of Trustees. We're grateful. And at this time, let's take a moment to turn to that sacred place within, where we open our heart, mind, and our being, and we feel the power of this now moment. It is only here that we connect and commune with the God of our understanding, that divine light, the Christ presence. By any name or knowing, we allow ourselves to step aside and allow the soul, the spirit, the Christ consciousness, the God of all, to move through us, powerfully bringing forth this prayer, this consciousness into every cell of our body, vibrating into our field of consciousness, moving forth with compassion and love to bless this world. We feel our hearts expanded at this time of a call for greater prayer and compassion in our world, to know truth more powerfully than ever before, to stand in the truth of the one God of all, the one presence and omnipotence of this universe that is moving things in us and through us and as us, and moving the fabric of the world that we may rise together in peace. We may know ourselves as the divine that we are. We may feel this infinite presence moving through, flowing, creating greater experience of oneness with God and oneness with one another. And as we hold this within our being and we hold it in the light of all, we begin to shift our awareness. We drop away thoughts and fears and doubts and stand in truth shining brightly, right here, right now. And we say thank you. Thank you, God, for shifting us, for being that presence in us, for being the light of all, for blessing one and all in wholeness. We call forth the divine blueprint, knowing it is God and it is good and its benevolence is moving through all of us now. And so it is. Amen. And yes. And thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Kyra. This week's announcements and all links to participate can be found in your Sunday e-bulletin, which of course was sent this morning at 7 a.m. For our in-person folks today, please visit the connection table, which is in the foyer, to show your interest. Access to our updated newsletters and bulletins are easily found on our new website, www.unitybayareahouston.org. Click on the orange newsletter button at the top of the page. Or you may also call us at 281-554-2450 and leave a message requesting event details. We have a new Unity class coming this week. Reverend Kyra is going to be offering a new hybrid class starting this Wednesday, March 9th at 7 p.m. So she asks that you please sign up today to attend the Unity Healing and Wholeness class. The healing practices and principles developed and applied by Myrtle and Charles Fillmore are the basis of this course. Students will be working with their teachings on healing and wholeness, as well as the historical and contemporary master teachers. The principles will be presented to support students in developing a practical understanding of unity theology as heart-centered metaphysics. It's really important you sign up today because Reverend Kyra is going to be emailing out some reading material for the class. So just a reminder, you can either click on the link in your e-bulletin or sign up on the table out in the foyer if you're here in person. Shining from Within is in full swing. We're on workshop number 3, which will be this Saturday, March 12th. It's at 10 a.m. from 10 to 2, either here in person or you can join us on Zoom. And this month, we're going to be talking about protecting the light within, which means healthy boundaries. We're going to do an assessment of our boundaries and understanding of what boundaries are. You know, and I think about all that's rising up in the world right now to be healed. And sometimes it's really hard not to be affected by it or not to react to things. And so this is the perfect workshop, and I love what we have going on in the church right now, that Reverend Kyra is doing a class in healing, that we have our highly sensitive person group, and then we have a boundary workshop, all complementing each other and supporting each other at the same time. So if you'd like to join us, it's $35 for the workshop or $31.50 with a fixed income discount. Registration ends this Tuesday. Just like Reverend Kyra needs to get materials together, so do I. So I really need you to register by Tuesday. Again, either click on the link or sign up in the foyer. And then the Unity Labyrinth drummers are hosting Jabata from the Joy of Djembe to celebrate the spring equinox. Yay, spring! 6 p.m. on Sunday, March 20th. Please dress and prepare for your comfort and your joy. Now, please be encouraged to invite friends and family to experience that or any of our events and services. Share the love you receive and keep it growing. Now, please join me for our vision, mission, values, and affirmation. Our vision is a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of a shared spiritual awakening. Our mission is to inspire minds, awaken hearts, and empower lives through the teachings of Jesus Christ and other expressions of universal truth. In all that we are and all that we live, we value unconditional love, connection, authenticity, inclusivity, trust, and compassion. We are living relevant spirituality now. All right. Now I got to figure out where I'm at, right? Back to Patty. There we go.
Okay, if you guys will stand up and sing this song with me, it's a great piece. I am healed, whole and healthy. I relax and visualize. I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well. I am healed, whole and healthy. I accept and receive. I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well. I am healed, whole and healthy. Angels watch over me. I am healed, whole and healthy. I am well, I am well. I am healed, whole and healthy. I've got love surrounding me. I am healed, whole and healthy. All is well, all is well, all is well, all is well.
Yes, we are, aren't we? Oh, as you know, your presence here today is precious to us all. Thank you for checking us out this morning and joining us. We know that some folks are joining us for the very first time. We thank you for checking out Unity Bay Area Houston. If you'd like more information about our community and our Unity teachings, you may connect with a greeter, Domingo's in the back, after the service, or you can contact us through our messenger on Facebook page, Unity Bay Area Houston. If you're looking for a spiritual place to be renewed and lifted, we would love to welcome you. And if you're here for your first time, please raise your hand. Anybody here for their first time? Welcome. Yeah. We have something that we'd love to give you that tells you a little bit more about us, but mostly we just love to welcome you. Is there anybody here for their third time? Any people who've just, okay. Well, together, let's share our welcoming blessing. We love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. Yes, now let's center in to receive today's daily word.
Good morning, everybody. With the permission of Kyra, I'm going to ask you to just give about 15 seconds for the people in Ukraine. Let's send our love for them and God's protection. Thank you. Today is Sunday, April 3rd, 2022. Inner peace. I think peace. I feel peace. I am peace. Peace lives in my heart, at the place within me where all appearances arc of separation dissolve, I feel only peace, only God, only oneness. The peace is always mine, part of my divine inheritance. I carry it with me through every experience, every moment, every day. Nothing can destroy or even disturb my peace when I invite the divine presence, the Christ of my being, to be my constant guide. A passing thought of fear, worry, or anger is a reminder to breathe, to relax, to release negative energy, and to embrace peace. I feel renewed when I meditate, enjoy a walk in a peaceful garden, or take a moment to appreciate natural beauty wherever I find it. My indwelling peace manifests all around me as beauty, harmony, and bliss. Words from the Bible. May the Lord give strength to his people. May the Lord bless his people with peace. Psalms 29:11. And for those people who are probably watching us, I'm going to read it in Spanish as well. This morning, my husband, he doesn't speak in Spanish, so I read it to him, and I did well, so I'm going to trust him. So we'll see. Just a minute. Marzo, domingo 6 de marzo del 2022, Gloria. Celebro la gloria de Dios. Aprecio gloria de Dios cuando armonizo mis sentidos y todo mi ser con ella. La percibo en el sonido de las olas sobre la playa y en la melodía inspiradora de un coro. La veo en los amaneceres y atardeceres, en la belleza de los jardines, las montañas y los bosques, así como en los ojos de una madre que abraza a su recién nacido. Siento la gloria divina en la profundidad de mi ser, cuando tengo presente que Dios es mi vida. No existe un punto en el que mi ser humano termine y la presencia divina comience. Dios y yo somos uno. La gloria de Dios se revela en mí cuando desecho el pensamiento de que soy solamente humano. La gloria de Dios brilla por medio de mí y el Cristo se expresa en mi cuerpo saludable, mi mente alerta y mi corazón afable. Y ya no vivo yo, sino que Cristo vive en mí. Gálatas 2:20. Thank you very much and have a blessed day.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of love.
Patty, would you go through that again? And I want to invite us to take a moment to look around, to sing this to ourselves, to one another, to sing it out into the world as we share this message. And let's go through it 2 times.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God.
Look to someone you don't know.
You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of love.
Let's send this out to all the world.
You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of love. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the face of God.
Thank you so much, all of you, for holding that space. As we move into this time of meditation, I find it's especially important now that we shift our fear consciousness to I am-centered consciousness, to open to the realization that the Christ Spirit is within each one of us. And I'm going to invite us to take this meditation with a phrase that comes from the teachings of Myrtle and Charles Fillmore. There is only one God mind, infinite good, love, infinite truth. The mind of the divine rules and governs all. This mind is my mind now. The life, love, and mind of all that is acts within me at this instant. I am filled completely with the light and spirit of truth. So whatever is happening in the exterior, let's come to the light of truth within ourselves. We quiet our small self mind. We invite it to just rest gently as we open to the spirit of truth that lives within us, the spirit of light, the spirit that knows there is one essence, one power, one presence in this world. And we open ourselves to feel the flow of that light through every sense of our being. Our eyes see truth and light and God in every person, in every situation, in every moment. If our outer eyes cannot see it, we know that our inner eye, our divine vision, knows. And we surrender to that higher vision, the awareness of our higher self. And we relax into this now moment that we may hear the still small voice within, that divine expression of light and love. And as we journey into our inner being, we feel our body temple relax and open to that inner hearing. We taste the delicious sweetness of spirit alive in us. And we feel the power of that resonance, of that divine life that is the wholeness and the oneness of all, and is alive within us here and now. And we gentle ourselves into experiencing the fullness of that single I, of that single voice of spirit speaking so loudly that it is all that we may hear and know, resonating with the frequency of the one logos and word, the divine light of all. And we feel the power of that melting away our resistance. To know that God is here, we are that presence of light. We are that presence of love. We are the Christ consciousness, the divine essence. And we are calling forth the power that resides in us to know a higher truth and live it in this sacred now. To allow this meditation of our heart and soul to infuse our body temple with more light to infuse our mind that it is focused on the mind of God, the mind of the divine, the mind of oneness. We lift all as we lift ourselves here this day. And we move into a time of silence where we resonate with this frequency of light and love and harmony, that all may know their wholeness and feel the protection and the love and the life that is within them. So we go into the silence. From this sacred remembrance of who and what we are, of how we serve in this world, of the light of all that is shining in and through us, we move that energy out to bless this world, that every being may remember the truth of their light. They may feel the power of that light as it amps up within them. They experience it right now. We experience and send the flow of this divine love and life, and we share our light, that others may know it is safe to shine. It is safe to be all that we are called to be and know the truth of our being and live from that essence. And we send this as a powerful blessing of light upon this world and all those that are struggling and suffering. All those that are challenged right now in the various ways in our world, those who are losing loved ones, those who are in the midst of pain and suffering in Ukraine, those who are in the decision-making of their part to play, those that are leading and guiding this world. And we know that we, as the voice of Spirit, rise with a mighty voice of love, of light, of peace. And we bless all of creation. We recognize the light and we celebrate that glory of God that is living in this now moment to bring forth more glory. No matter what appearance is there, we know there is a powerful movement of Spirit happening within us and within this world, that we may truly live that oneness with our one family of light. With all of creation, every animal of the waters and the skies and the lands. With every mineral and plant, we experience that true celebration of life and the movement that is happening to bring harmony and peace, to release the old systems that do not serve the highest good and fulfill the true destiny of our planet, of our humanity, as it knows and claims and lives from a higher divinity. And we are grateful, grateful, grateful as we hold this truth and we send forth this blessing into the world. We share this blessing with the words from our Lord's Prayer from an Aramaic translation. I invite you to gently bring yourself back here now. Feel the power of the word through you, of the voice of Spirit alive in you, as you share together these words to bless our world. Beloved oneness, breathing life of all, holy is our essence. Create your reign of unity now. Your one desire acts with ours and vibrates light to form. Fulfill this day all need for bread and insight. Forgiveness releases us, and we remember wholeness. We are free from inner and outer deception and walk your path with joy. You are the power of these truths, and unite my words, thoughts, feelings, and actions through this prayer. In gratitude, my heart knows it is so. Amen. And Ah, yes. And so it is.
I am here. I am whole as I am. I am safe. I am loved as I am. I am grateful. I am free. I'm as perfect as can be. I am here. I am whole as I am. Nothing illuminates the darkness like a serenade. Nothing can make peace like a song. I propose a family that looks a lot like you and me, including people that we love. I am here. I am whole as I am. I am safe. I am loved as I am. I am grateful. I am free. I'm as perfect as can be. I am here. I am whole as I am.
Thank you, Patty Rabaza. Well, we have a lot to share today. Let me just say, this is such a powerful time that we're in the midst of. And I am deeply grateful for Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, the teachings that we have here in Unity that help us gain an understanding of how to live in times of challenge and strife, right? That we get the opportunity to say, where do we go in the midst of the circumstances where our world is shaking, where things are different? Where do we go when we're in the midst of a personal challenge, of a health challenge, of a belief that somehow we are not whole or complete? There are those that say the greatest thing we need to understand, and this is a Unity teaching as well as many other traditions, is that we overcome our illusion of separation from God. As a world, when we come to the realization that we are one in spirit, that we are that divine essence, then all of a sudden we have a whole new perspective on everything. I chose this topic, unity, wholeness, and healing, or healing and wholeness, either way it goes, or holiness. I like that, wholeness and holiness, right? Is that I chose this originally because I wanted to launch into before our class and us to understand the basic teachings. This is a very powerful essence of what unity has as a foundational understanding of who and what we are. And how do we live from a place of our own wholeness and completeness in the midst of all the circumstances of our lives, the challenges of our mind, our emotions, our bodies, the challenges of a world around us that is a reflection of us being out of alignment in many ways, and our calling forth a new realization of truth. Does anybody want a new realization of truth in our planet right now? In yourself right now? Do you want to feel peace and harmony and joy and live life with life abundantly blessing and flowing through you? Do I hear a yes? Yeah. Let's hope. And in order to do that, we have a lot of instructions in the materials that were given to us by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. Not only were they materials that were brought forth through their time in deep inner space, in deep realization of the divine and what it represents, in teaching us the Christ consciousness that is within every one of us, what we know as new thought, whether it's in spiritual living centers or whether it's here in Unity or whether it's others that teach these principles. We know there is a truth to this that's been demonstrated again and again and again. That when we understand that we are already whole, we are already one with God, we cannot not be, we are already Christed beings, then we begin to start to live from a different realization of ourselves, our path, our ability to shine and be present in the world. But we have bought into the small mind. Anybody have one of those? A whole committee going on in there? A whole committee? They have a lot to say, don't they? And sometimes they just have a whole repeat system. You know, they're repeating messages that we learned when we were young, or that the world has said, or somebody else has planted a seed in us that was a weed and not a flower. And we are learning how to pluck those and at the roots release those things that would keep us in bondage to a false idea of ourselves, our part in the world, and what the world is up to. Do you know that we are an ever-evolving species? Do you know that information? We have been shown we are ever evolving. The world itself is ever evolving. Here in Unity and in others that are in the spiritual path, we know that we're evolving spiritually. Not that we're becoming something different, but we're awakening to what we truly are. Everybody breathe that in. Let us take a minute to look at this. Now, we had an interesting conversation. I always love my minister discussion groups online. We have certain forums where we have just the Unity ministers discussing topics, and we have, and amongst Unity ministers, all different thoughts and experiences as well, and looking to say, how do we claim truth, and how do we share this? In the time like this, how do we share an understanding? And I wanted to say one of the things that came up was the question about, you know, when we say there's one presence and one power in the universe, God, the good omnipotence, how do we see that in the midst of the struggles and the strife and the pain and the suffering that is happening around the world? And yet, one of the things I love about Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, and some of you know that sometimes I call myself an absolutist about truth, that truth either is or it is not. It's no gray area in truth. Truth is an absolute. And so either I believe and I open myself to realize these truths as a living presence, or I'm out wandering and wavering and anything can throw me off course. And so in this process, Charles and Myrtle really got clear. They went to their inner spirit. We know they demonstrated healing, each of them, in various ways. Myrtle with her tuberculosis. Charles actually lengthening one of his legs in the process of realizing their Christ consciousness within themselves. And one of the things that we understand is that they turned to the concept of wholeness. But they also had this understanding of divine mind, of this infinite source of good. And when we say good, it's not good as we look at it in the world. And we don't say it's good or bad like I'm being a good girl or a bad girl, okay? It's the difference is that good is the principle of that ever-flowing consciousness of all. So when I say that I'm turning to that there's one presence and power, its nature is good. Its nature is benevolence. And its nature is bringing us back to our remembrance. We're really realigning ourselves. Its nature is always the same. We're learning how do I align myself into the healing and wholeness that is already my birthright. I am born and made in the image and likeness of God. So one of the things we get to look at is that the idea that this principle is active in everything. And there are many texts that were written by Charles and Myrtle Fillmore about healing and wholeness, and Myrtle wrote many letters to people to support them in their healing journey. And we have all of this document about what did they really express and live from in their truth. What's the basic theology, if you want to say, of unity? What are the beliefs that help us in times when we are feeling shaken? When we are feeling insecure, when we're wondering about the nature of things and how could this happen in the midst of that, right? We go back to the basic teachings. And in this, one of the things that Charles has always said, Charles Fillmore, was about the logos, that the logos, the word, is what brought forth the divine into form. And through the power, we get that through John, right? In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, and the Word was with God. And then it's brought into form. And so we also bring forth through the law of mind action. We create. And so part of our healing and wholeness is understanding what are we creating in our mind and in our words and in our experience within ourselves. Because we are the creators of our world. So healing and wholeness, we first have to understand, is our natural birthright, and it's our natural order of life. It is who we are. We are already healed and whole. Whew. All right. It sounds good, and we also have to say, where am I at odds with that within my own being? Because so many times we say those kind of things, but then there's something in us that says, yeah, but did you feel that pain in my hip today? Did you notice this going on? We have something else that gets our attention, right? We have a lot of things that get our attention these days because there's so much input from us, from everywhere, all the time. Some of it good, some of it not so good, some of it makes us laugh, some of it makes us cry. It's all of the above. And yet what we do is we're choosing in every moment where our focus is. We're a focusing lens for that power and presence of the divine. And do I know that I am already whole? That so is every other being on this planet? Do I know that every being has that God presence, that spark of divinity, that light? Because right now I know there's a lot of you going, no, not Putin. I heard you. And yet we have to say truth is truth. And it applies 100%. Now, it does not mean we all use it in the same manner. That there is one presence, one power, God the good omnipotence. Now, this is one of the truths that Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, as a foundation, brought forth. Now, it did not mean that it always plays out living according to its highest perception. Does it always play out in you according to its highest perception? You may know, I am a child of God, I do not inherit sickness. I am a child of God, I am the divine in expression, and I have other thoughts going on, right? So as a process with this, we have to understand we pick and choose how we play out this truth of being. But one of the challenges we have is that we have mixed messages going on within our own being. And Charles and Myrtle both recognizing that we have to say, he says in here, understanding the perfection of God thoughts, humankind must conform to them. So conforming, he will discover there is never necessity for any change of the will of God in regard to human affairs. Whew! Because we think we need to go change God's mind about what's going on, right? How's that working for you? Doesn't work that way. So how do we get ourselves wrapped around another concept, another realization, when I know without a shadow of a doubt this is a benevolent universe? There is God, this one presence, God the good. I may not understand and see the good that's coming forth. And it doesn't mean I condone the actions and agreement with what is occurring. But I also know at a core part of me that there is a magnificent movement happening in the world right now that is shaking loose and crumbling away the old belief systems that keep us in ill health and keep us from being one with one another, that keep us from a place of knowing the illusion is no longer going to run us. That we are being called to know that we are complete and whole and one with God. And that God's presence is in the midst of this, shaking loose things that we do not understand all the dynamics of. We think we can study this information, that information, but the truth is that when we're focused on truth, we come to a higher perception. We come to a different way of being. So we have to understand that we are made in that image and likeness, and that that is the key to God, mind, and everyone. When I know I am the image and likeness of God, am I living from the thought consciousness of my own God awareness? Or am I in judgment? Anybody? Everybody? Am I in fear, right, of what's going to happen? Because I'm no longer in the now when I'm in fear. I'm no longer in my own wholeness and completeness and trust. Because this moves us to a place of surrender and trust, right? When we come to the realization there is wholeness and there is this good presence and this goodness that is happening, it is hard. I'm not telling you this is an easy path. We say in Unity, a lot of people struggle coming to Unity because it's one of personal responsibility. It's a path where I take responsibility for what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, how I'm acting, what beliefs I hold, what I put out into the universe, what vibe am I giving off, right? Are you giving the vibe you want to give off every moment? It's really easy for us to get caught up in the fear. There's a big energy. There's a big energy out there. But do you know how big your energy is? Do you have any idea who you are as a Christ being? Do you have any idea who you are as a consciousness of light? Or why you have come here to the planet? Why you're here in this service right now, whether you're online at another time or right here this moment? We are a part of the light that is moving this world forward into the realization of its own highest self, of its vibration, of its light, of its ability to transform everything by being who we're here to be, by knowing our own wholeness, that we are already complete as a Christ being. So as we look at these ideas that were brought forth from the Fillmores, we begin to understand it is all about us aligning ourselves to a higher truth. And noticing when I'm not in alignment. Noticing when I'm shifting a thought, and that maybe I'm putting a fear-based thought into some new clothes. Have you done that? Dressed it up, paraded it around, and it was really a fear-based thought, but you're trying to make it sound like it was a positive, you know. We are good at these things, right? We say something, well, you know, I get this, and if only, you know, when you say if only, you're probably denying your true spiritual power. Right? You're probably denying you're not in the place of calling forth. Or when or if we put those, but, those words are all declarations that we are speaking other than truth. We're not aligned with the truth of our being and the truth that is out here, that to claim it and know it and vibrate it to form is to bring that light, because we are the creators. We are made in the image and likeness. Everything that is created is now from the divine. It is through us. We are one with that divine mind. And as that presence in us begins to vibrate its truth, there is great power available to us to transform not only our own lives and our own experience, but that of the world. And so sometimes we think we're over here, this little ministry out in, you know, South Texas, you know, and what is it we can really do to transform the world? And when we think like that, we're outside of truth. One being of light changes everything. That's what Jesus demonstrated, isn't it? Isn't it that he demonstrated the knowing of himself as whole and complete that led to healing of other people? He knew himself as whole and complete. It led to the transformation of a system, of a world. It may not have looked like we thought it should look, right? They didn't do it and play it out the way he might have loved to have it, right? Or we might have loved to have it and have that story. And yet, what happens in the midst of that, of our calling forth the true ascension of our own soul, the Christ Spirit, the wholeness and completeness of our own healing. Because this is about, where am I unhealed in my thoughts? Where am I unhealed in my beliefs of less than oneness, of less than wholeness? Because it is in that, then I am calling forth a different place of letting that fall away. That old idea and way that I have lived and I have doubted or feared or, struggled. Anybody ready to be done with struggle? I think, are we done with that on the planet? Are we ready to be done with that on the planet? It may still be acting out right now. Because as we release this, then it's kind of like it acts out a lot at first. Like, you go to work your muscle out, and it's going to release you're releasing some lactic acid, and it hurts for a while, right? It hurts while it's releasing and building back up its strength. See, there's ways that happen in this, and we can see that there's a world we're rising the vibration, we're raising it. We are individually and collectively changing what it is that we're focused on. How many of you have heard the stories of the amazing things that are happening because of the situation in Ukraine? Did you see the woman with the poster that said, I will take 8 of you for free and help you whatever way? Did you see and hear about those that are buying up places to create Airbnbs to support those that need a place to live, as well as then provide a discount to help them as they're getting themselves back on their feet? They're working with getting people places to live. They're finding creative ways that work for everyone to say, how can we support the transformation of our world? And we are finding that we get to choose what we focus on. And this is the same with healing and wholeness. Myrtle Filmer gave us a whole, idea. There's so much more here, but I'll have to cover some of that in class. Myrtle said, that she felt that we have actual steps we take to come to our healing and our wholeness, our how-tos. And I think we need how-tos of how to live from our own wholeness and healing. And a wholeness and healing also means seeing the world aright, right? And she said that first of all, we need to sit up and quicken our senses and give them the baptism of new life in Christ Jesus. Now, this means every sense of this world is involved in aligning itself to the divine. So are we seeing with the eyes of God, or with the third eye, the eye that sees beyond the experiences? Are we seeing that there's only this one God presence? So we use our senses to support us. Are we sniffing out discernment and finding the ways that we detect where God's presence is in the midst of this situation? You have to use your senses to do that. Are you hearing the still small voice in your own quiet time that is reminding you, you are one, you are whole, you are complete, and as you bring this healing, Jesus didn't just say, go do this. He did it himself. And as a result, he called forth the Christ presence to be that which was the healer, that which knew the truth of wholeness in every circumstance, no matter what it looked like. And we are being called to use those senses of knowing and sensing and feeling. Do we feel peace in our being? Do we feel harmony? Do we remember that wholeness in such a way that it cannot help but vibrate through us? Sometimes we have had a world that is acted out of wounding. And we've made a whole art out of acting out of wounding and commiserating with each other out of the wounds, rather than out of the true life that is within us. When we put our focus on the life and how it is vitally alive and moving us always to greater good, then all of a sudden we have a different experience. How do you feel when you focus on that? How do you feel when you focus on yourself like as a light being, sharing light around the world? See yourself with your angel wings, flying over Ukraine, spreading light everywhere, right? Or whatever way you want to do it. But it's about recognizing you have that light of the Christ, that light of the divine, so powerfully within you. She goes on to say that we hear truth and we discern which way is it, what is truth that we're listening to. How do we feel for God? We feel for God's presence. Where is God in the midst of this? I will find what I am looking for. Seek and ye shall find. Knock and the door will be opened. What are you looking for? Are you looking for verification of a wounded world? Are you looking for verification of ain't it awful? Or are you looking for verification that there is a God presence in the midst of these circumstances and I am going to find it? I'm going to find, and as soon as I call that forth and vibrate that, because I'm coming from a greater wholeness, I invite others to vibrate from their wholeness. And as a result, others are healed. New thoughts are thought. That's why we call it new thought. We think new thoughts that are in alignment with truth. I taste the purity of a thought that is in alignment with my truth. Have you ever noticed, like even your taste buds will get involved when you feel great about the truth of life and wholeness and completeness, and you feel life pouring through you? Like every part of you is alive. We don't deaden the body. We bring the body with us into this life. And so I wish for you that you would find that healing in you that says, I am one with the mind of God, with the divine in me, because it is happening in body, mind, and soul. And my spirit is taking charge. And it is taking charge of me so that I am a presence for not just my own healing, but the healing and wholeness of others. That's the gift we bring when we bring that to ourselves. Do not underestimate your power. You are a Christ being. And I wish you all to know the truth of the light that you are, to feel the shining, to experience it, so that you walk through the world knowing you're making a difference, sending a smile, sending a light beam to somebody, doing just a blessing of kindness wherever you go. Whatever way we start to feel whole and complete in ourselves, we shine that out. You know the difference of when you feel that. When you feel good, nothing can bother you, right? When you feel good, it's, then you're like enthusiasm, and your experience of life infuses that into the arena around you. So I invite you all to find the place where you find your own healing and wholeness, where you recognize truth and begin to realign yourself to that. If you have doubts or fears, you can email me. I'll help you turn it around. I'll help you see another way of seeing it, because we need one another. Go to somebody else that you know is a truth speaker. Speak truth to me right now. I'll never forget when bad things happened to one of my licensed teachers when I was in Arizona, and when she called me in the middle of the night, and the first thing she said, Kyra, speak truth to me right now. I need truth. I need truth because I can't get there. And I'm like, all right, let's go. When we speak truth to one another, every part of us vibrates with life. So let us speak truth to ourselves and to each other, and bring this world into the true recognition of the magnificence that it already is. I am so grateful for all of you who are those who are experiencing and expressing the light and the truth in this world. May your Christ essence shine upon your families, your loved ones, on one another, on yourselves in such a way that you walk through life with that incredible power and presence radiating out and blessing our world. You just never know. It might be people around you start having healings. I know that's how it works. God bless you. I know who you are. You can't hide. Some people hate that. Yeah. We like hiding, right? Not anymore. All right, this is the time where we take our offerings and we give thanks for every gift in this ministry, to sustain this ministry, to move us forward. We know during these times it's been especially challenging the last couple of years, and as we're starting to come back together, we're seeing the rebuilding and the reunion of those that have been gone, and it's such a blessing. And so we take our gifts into our heart and into our hands and into our minds, whether we give them online, whether we give them here, whether we send them in the mail, all the ways that we give. And we've just blessed these to see them multiplied and magnified in your own life and in the life of this ministry, that we may see the world blessed to know the truth of its abundance. So share with me this offering blessing. Divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God. And so it is. Yes, we already mentioned all those ways to give, except text. You can text 281-595-1648. That's another option, or our website. So grateful for that. Let's turn it over to Patty Rabaza.
Today is the day I will change my luck. I will find 3 pennies and they'll be heads up. I will walk like a queen in my tennies and jeans, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from the magical one, I am part of this thing called life. From the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life. Today is the day I'll remember to see only good, only God happening through you and me. I will not forget all the treasures due me, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars, from the sun, from the magical one, I am part of this thing called life. From the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am part of this thing called life. Today is the day I'll be more of myself, love my skin where I've been and everyone else. No more push, no more pull, simply flow as I go, 'cause I know where I come from. From the stars and the sun, from the magical one, I am part of this thing called life. Yeah, from the known to unseen, everything in between, I am part of this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life. I am one with this thing called life.
Kind of felt like we should be skipping around, right? I love it. All right, let's bring our gifts up and let's share our blessing upon these and upon the world as we celebrate this. Together, we celebrate divine abundance. We gratefully live, breathe, and experience abundance and generosity. Thank you, God, for the flow of resources through this ministry to bless the world. We rejoice as all our prayers are answered. We are grateful, blessed, and prosperous. Yes, we are. Thank you, God. We will have a prayer circle after service today, led by Roger Moorfield, and Eugenia will be available for one-on-one prayer after the service as well. And now I think we're going to sing us out, right?
Yes.
Or almost. We'll have to do the prayer of protection after that. Let's stand up and release today. We're releasing and letting go so that we can be free to be who we're here to be.
I release and I let go. I let spirit in my life, and my arms are open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my face I see the light. I am free in the spirit. Yes, I'm only
together in our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. God bless you, friends, and together we close with, Yay, God! And have a great, great week.